Well, our next guest is a biblical scholar and a real prophet. I was fascinated several years ago when he began to unfold what is called the Harbinger. And he talked about the fulfillment of prophecy and how it had been brought forth in exquisite detail. That book sold over 1 million copies. It was very popular. And then he came up with another one called The Mystery of the Shemitah, and people have looked and they've seen the flux of economic events taking place in our world that tracks the Jewish calendar. And now, in 2015, Rabbi Jonathan Cahn gave a prophetic warning to America regarding Baal, a Baal. A year later, that word has become a reality. Take a look at this.
Messianic Rabbi Jonathan Cahn is known for his best-selling novel, The Harbinger. He compared the United States to the destruction of ancient Israel. His teachings, which are known for revealing the deep mysteries of God's Word, are broadcast around the world. In his devotional, The Book of Mysteries, Jonathan takes you on a one-year journey to mountaintops, caverns, and the oil-lit chambers of scrolls to uncover secrets that he says will change your life.
Well, it's a pleasure to welcome back a dear friend of the 700 Club, Jonathan Cahn. Jonathan, God bless you.
God bless you, Pat.
Glad to see you.
Blessing to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What is this Baal thing? Or is it Baal?
Yeah. Well, the template of the Harbinger is that Israel is warned and gets the signs, but they get worse, right, and they progress until, well, we're watching, I shared about how these things have manifested in America. Mm-hmm. Well, we're also going on this path as a culture. We're defying God. Well, in the last days of ancient Israel, when the Harbingers were happening, they were worshiping the god Baal or Baal. And it's the god they lifted up their children in sacrifices. They called evil good. They hunted down the righteous, Elijah. And so could the sign of Baal also manifest in America, since the Harbingers are a sign of a nation that has once known God but has fallen away? Right. Well, in the last month, what's happened, Pat, it has manifested in New York City.
What?
They erected the Arch of Baal, the arch that the worshipers of Baal went through to worship Baal in Palmyra, Syria. They put it up on American soil. I was there. The woman who spoke said, "We're doing this as an act of defiance." This is a sign of a nation that has turned from God, once knew God.
Is that it?
That's it. That's it.
And she said it's an act of defiance.
We're doing this as an act of defiance. This is Baal. I mean, of all things, identifying the nation that is in apostasy from God. And it actually says the arch of the Temple of Baal right there. And you know, we watch this. And the weird thing was, I know that about a year and a half ago, I was in Capitol Hill, and it was the day after the Supreme Court was hearing the case on marriage, and I was led to give a warning. I'm saying, and the Lord said, Elijah said that you know, we're standing between Baal and God. Choose you this day, right. And it looks like it's Baal. That's the scary thing.
Well, Elijah killed about 500 of them.
We're not going to do that.
Well, maybe, he said. You know, but if the Lord be God, let him be God.
Yes.
And God answered his prayer. He said, "Oh, God, show these people that I've done this at your word." And suddenly the fire from heaven fell.
Yes.
Do you think we're going to see something like that?
I hope for it, because that's the only hope I see. I mean, the only hope I see is revival. That's it. I mean, no matter what happens in the political realm, we got to pray for revival. That's it.
Well, to talk about Baal, you know, I have studied this name that the Muslims use, you know, of their god. They call him Allah. I thought it was Hubal, the moon god of Mecca. But you look up the books, and they say, well, it's a derivation of Baal, that they've taken from the Phoenician god, that's where they get this god they serve.
Yeah, well, one of the things is that this was taken, this arch is a reproduction of what was in Syria. And actually, and the thing is, and in the Harbinger, when you remember, Pat, when they're rebuilding, when ancient Israel was rebuilding, they're rebuilding what the Assyrians destroyed. Well, it was ISIS, who are the modern-day descendants of Assyria, who destroyed the Arch of Baal. So now we're actually rebuilding exactly what happened, what the Assyrians destroyed. I mean, it's eerie, and it's actually happening. Yeah.
Where is it placed in New York?
It was placed in City Hall, and actually, I'll tell you, I was going to share this, but we said, okay, if the arch is here, where's the Temple of Baal? So we charted it out where it would have been in New York City. it led us exactly to ground zero.
Come on.
Yes, yes. I have that. I have the map, and it led us exactly to ground zero. Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about this book of mysteries. Yes. Tell us about, this is kind of a day-to-day devotional about these. There's a fictional character who leads us through this. Tell us what it's about.
If the Harbinger is the opening up of a mystery, the Book of Mysteries is the opening up of hundreds of mysteries, and from mysteries of heaven, mysteries of the end times, mysteries of the rabbis, and it is revealed in a way that, as with the Harbinger, a man goes into the desert, a man called the teacher takes him on this one-year journey, and every day on mountaintops and caves, he opens up a mystery of God. So the reader is taken into that journey, and so every day you're seeing another mystery. So you can read it right through, but it's also could be done as a devotional. But every day there's a mystery, and not just that, but not just to be blown away, but to take it and apply it to your life.
Let's take a few of the mysteries. Okay. You've got one, the mystery of God's name.
Yes.
Start with that.
Well, in this, the teacher says to the disciple, do you know the name of God? And the disciple says, I don't know. He says, you say it all the time. Every time, if I say I'm Jonathan, you say I'm Pat. Before you say it, you must say the name of God. I am. I am Jonathan. I am Pat. Before you can speak about ourselves, we have to put God's name when we talk about ourselves, because our existence comes from His existence. Even if I say, I'm sad, well, it's I am is with me. If I say I am alone, well, I am is with me when I say that. Even if I say I'm in sin, I am, this is Jesus. I am becomes one with our sin. So there's so much here, but just that, and the thing is that one of the secrets is, we live for God, we're to live to God, but one of the mysteries is to live from God. That every moment, because our existence, every moment is from God. And so to take it, to live in His living, to love from His loving, to live from I am. We're all saying it.
Well, now, the next one is the Shemitah.
Okay.
You wrote a book about that mystery.
About the Shemitah, but this is the mystery of the Smicha. A little different.
Different. Oh, I'm sorry. Shemitah.
It's a little different. There's so much that people... Here's the thing, that in order for the sacrifice to be lifted up, they had to perform something called the Smicha. The sacrifice had to be taken to the priest. The priest would have to lay their palms on the head of the sacrifice, called the Smicha, become one with it, confess their sins on top of the sacrifice, then it could be offered up. If Messiah, Jesus, is the sin offering, which He is, could this have happened? Well, yes, He was taken to the priest. The Sanhedrin were the priests. And what do they do? The Bible says, it says that the palms have to touch. Well, it says that they buffeted Him. They touched His head. They touched His face. The Greek says they put it was the palms of their hands when they beat Him. That's the smicha. And they had to confess the sin over Him. Well, the high priest said he is guilty of blasphemy. That wasn't his sin. It says that's their sin. They're confessing it over blasphemy, which is the sin of all of us, blasphemy. And so, Pat, so much true is, even if people never heard of it, when you get saved, you're performing the smicha. You're saying, Jesus, you died for my sins.
Most people thought they just slapped Him like, the slap, but it wasn't a slap.
They did.
But it was
they did. But it literally says they buffeted Him with the palms of their hands in the Greek. Literally, that's the smicha. The smicha. It's amazing. And we're actually performing it, and it's to take your life and touch Him with it, and that's when you get changed.
Another mystery. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a fabulous thing you can go through here, but the next one is the Bride and Groom. Oh,
I love this. And this is the Hebrew wedding, and this takes place where the teacher shows them their tent desert dwellers, and they're living like the Bible times. So throughout the book, you have a stream of mystery where they're actually seeing a wedding take place. It concludes at the end. Here's the thing. In the time of the Bible, the wedding went like this. For there to be a marriage, the bridegroom had to make a journey from the house of the bridegroom to the house of the bride. Had to do it. And there he would pledge himself, consecrate his life, offer a gift called the mohar to set her free. If she said yes, they were considered married. But then he had to leave her. They were separated for over a year. She'd prepare for the wedding. She'd prepare to leave her house. He'd prepare a home for her. And then comes the big wedding day. He's dressed as a king with a crown. He comes with torches and men and a great procession. Second journey comes to, this time he comes to take her home. So this time they're lifted up. They see each other face to face. They're lifted up on a sedan chair, carried in a great procession, where finally she sees the house of the bridegroom that has been prepared for her. They enter in. They become one. Well, the mystery is this. God is the bridegroom. We are the bride. According to the mystery, He has to make a journey. 2,000 years ago, the bridegroom God makes the journey from the house of the bridegroom to the house of the bride, to earth. He comes to our life. He offers up the gift, which is His life. He has to leave. He says, I have to go back. They have to go back. Then it says, I'm preparing a place for you. So He's preparing a place now. We're supposed to be preparing ourselves to get ready. And whether we live to that day when He comes or when we leave this life, He's going to take us home.
They were already married, though, when they confessed to each other.
Well, the moment they are considered husband and wife, that's right, even though they don't see each other until that. And then finally it's consummated when he comes again dressed as a king. He comes in glory, and we're going to see that. And finally we will see the house that's prepared for us, and finally we'll be home. It's so awesome.
And that's the mystery of the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the whole Bible is that mystery.
All right, let's try it. Oh, this is fantastic. How long did it take you to come up with these things? This is fantastic.
I think it's been like 30 years of coming up with it. But I wrote it at night, like from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning this year. I just said, I just want to strengthen God's people because I believe we have to be strong for the day's end.
Eighth day.
Eighth day, one of the most mysterious days of the Bible, and that is God says at the very end of this sacred year, it's called the eighth day. What's the eighth day? No, even the rabbis don't know what this is. Well, if the seventh day is the day of the end, the eighth day is what happens beyond the end. Okay. So when you look at the end of the Bible, Revelation, you see 7, 7, 7 trumpets, everything's ending. Then the last 2 chapters are the eighth day. It's the day of eternity. Jesus, and the day that breaks the bounds. Jesus, he rose not just on Sunday, first day of the week. He rose on the eighth day of the week. It's the day that breaks the barriers. You know, and we worship on Sunday, many believers. You know, and so that we are children of the eighth day. There's a way to actually enter the day of eternity even now, heaven now.
Yeah. Jonathan, this is fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, this book, where can they get it? Is it available?
It's everywhere. Book of Mysteries everywhere, from online, Amazon to Walmart, everywhere. It looks like one of the books that the teacher shows, these ancient books that he shows.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Book of Mysteries. Isn't this fascinating? Every day there's another unfolding of the mysteries of God. It'll enrich your spiritual life. I just love your writing, brother. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You're such a blessing. And I'm reminding you, I came to the Lord, I was watching the 700 Club. Well, thank you.
You're a trophy that I'm proud to claim. God bless you. Rabbi Cahn. Ladies and gentlemen, the Book of Mysteries.